All right, students, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a look at some of the things that you're going to be using for the Academy class this quarter. If you're someone who was in this class last year, we'll discuss a little bit about like design changes and stuff behind that a little bit later. What I want to do right now is just help you get to the different parts where you can complete your work and also kind of look at some stuff if you are new to the Academy class. First things first, when you click the link in Google Classroom, it's going to take you to our hub. I like to have a hub that isn't just Google Classroom because I find Google Classroom boring. It also gives me a little bit more freedom to kind of put things in like I want if I create the hub myself. So this looks like a video game title screen, and to get into it, you're going to click the Start button. Going into it, you're going to have a map that will change as the year progresses. The place we're going to start at today is the central hub, just called the Academy, which you'll see up here. You can click it, and it'll give you a little window blurb discussing some stuff about that location. We're going to click here where it says Explore, and it's going to take us to the Academy Crossroads. If you watched the little exploration tutorial video the other day, you might have seen that it has some info on your progress in class. Each of these different signposts is labeled based on grade, 6th, 7th, and 8th. If I click 6th grade, it's going to bring up the actual progress monitoring chart for you and your grade. You'll be able to look through things. I will check off boxes when you turn work in, and that'll be how you keep up with your grade for the class. It's going to have one for each. It might take 15-20 minutes to update on here after I click one and it shows up, but it'll have that. As you know, whenever one of these is clicked, it's going to add up the amount of points that it lists right here. Your goal for this class is to get to 100, which means that you level up, and also that you're going to have 100 A+ for the class for that quarter. This is the type of class where I care more about mastery of the content, you knowing the content, than specific grades for specific assignments. If you don't meet expectations for an assignment, I'm going to give you that assignment back and ask you to do it again until you achieve mastery. And in that way, everyone in this class should be able to make an A because you will have completed everything that you need to on that chart to get 100 points. You can come here anytime to check on your progress. I would advise you to do that occasionally. As far as this hub part goes, you're welcome to explore a little bit around, talk to characters, look at some of the basic background info, see if you can run into any little puzzles and things like that that come up. This will expand over time, but the main part for this is just this central hub. Each of the different character classes has their own separate section with characters and details and things like that related to the characters. But what we want to go to now is the next part that you're going to need to go to actually complete your work. Now in class, you are going to be given a big packet of pages to complete things and turn in. It's sort of like you're starting this class with every single assignment that you would have gotten over the course of the 9 weeks at the very beginning, so that you can do things on your own track. So let's say that I am wanting to complete training session 1. These are video notes. I'm going to watch a video. I'm going to take careful notes over a topic while I read. I'm going to fill up this topic section with notes. And then on the back of it, for those who did this class last year, there's a new section called After Notes Review. I want you to take around a page of notes on whatever video topic you have, and then I want you to take a quick break and kind of synthesize those notes a little bit. I want you to determine what are the key concepts, new ideas, or the most important things to take away from this topic. And then I want you to list what are some important vocabulary terms related to this topic. List and define, and write those here. So you'll write a little bit on the back too, just kind of going over what you wrote for your notes to get that second opportunity to go by it, internalize it, learn it, and then you would turn this page into a basket in your classroom for your teacher to check. Okay, but where do I go to on the map if I actually want to complete it? Each quarter, to kind of clearly separate things, there'll be a new section that will appear on the map. I'm going to click right here where it says Aqua Crystal Quarter 1. I'm going to click Explore, and it's going to take me to this page. Now all these various arrows to other places are more just for like flavor and exploration, but over here is where we will find the actual sections that we need to go to. We use the same terms that we used last year for this class if you've taken it before, but essentially remember that training sessions are video notes. Monster hunts are mastery checks with questions to see what you've learned. Quests are longer term projects. Sometimes you'll do solos, sometimes you'll do in groups. You'll almost always complete something to turn in. Let's say I wanted to do that training session. I could click here where it has this sword. Apologize for the siren in the background. You're going to go to where your character class is: Bard for Arts and Humanities, Knight for Social Studies, Ranger for Science, Magician for Math, and Beastmaster for Language Arts. And you click where it says Training Session 1. That's going to come up with a page with the video notes. There'll be a little bit of extra info here at the bottom. One thing that I tried to do occasionally was to incorporate ways that showed how this was actually accelerated content. You might study Native American societies in one of your social studies classes in 6th through 8th grade. You're probably not going to get as deep as this video does on it, because a lot of this is drawn from AP US History, which is a high school class that gets you college credit. It mentions the connections down here. Not every one of these topics is going to have that, but you can see down here, this would be drawn or something that you would study in AP Biology. It's probably not going to be the most difficult thing you would study in AP Biology, but the hope is that if you're doing this in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, if you either take AP Biology in high school or you take a dual credit college course while you're in high school, you have a little bit of prep that you maybe wouldn't have gotten just in like a regular 8th grade science class. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to play my video. I am going to take notes on training session 1. Once I've completed that, I'm going to turn this page into a teacher. The teacher is either going to say, yeah, you took great notes, you seem to have covered the content and reviewed it afterwards, or they're going to give it back to you and they're going to say, take a little bit more time and go over this. The other types of assignments are, if we go back to it, monster hunts. If I click here, you'll see that every class has 2 this year, which is down from 4. We had last year we did 4 separate ones, but I wanted to kind of focus these a little bit. At least for the first quarter, when you click this, it's going to bring up a screen like it, and if you click Start Battle, it's going to go to a Wayground quiz. This is from a website that used to be called Quizzes. You are going to, I'm just going to click Resume Attempt because I've been using this as an example. It's going to give you a question, and your goal is to get 90% or higher on this quiz. Are you likely to do that the first time through? Probably not. You might have to take this 1 or 2 times. Every time you click an answer, and I haven't even read the question, I'm just going to click it. Oh, I got lucky. Awesome. It's going to give you an explanation that might help you if you missed it, and then you can go on to the next question. If you get 90% or higher, then when you go to your monster hunt sheet, and let me see if I can find it, all you have to do for it is put your name, put what class you are, and then turn this page into your teacher. That lets the teacher know that they can go online, check and see that you completed the test and that you got 90% or higher, and then you're good for that, and they'll check it off your progress chart. That's all those are, and a big change with these is that all of the questions are going to come from the videos that you studied in the training sessions. So for that monster hunt, if I want to prepare and make the first one easier, I probably want to complete training sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4 first. If I want to make Monster Hunt 2 easier, I want to go to training session 5, 6, 7, and 8, complete those first, and then attempt it. So my advice for this year, and the advice of all your teachers, would be to do the training sessions first, and then attempt the monster hunts that come up. Now, quests you can do at whatever order you want to. These will change in how they look. Some quarters you might have some specific to what you're studying. For the first quarter, we all have the same Quest 1 and Quest 2. For Quest 1, you're going to complete something called an infographic. For quests, think of them like projects. You are going to create something and turn it in. There's a lot of details here. There's a link to learn more. I show some connections. For example, STLP actually has a competition on creating infographics. So some of you all who put a little bit of extra work into this may actually submit it and see if that's something that we end up sending as a school to the STLP competition. Quest 2 is one that some students who took the class last year will be familiar with. I would like you to teach a lesson about something that you've learned this quarter. It gives you the details on how you do that, and this video will show you how to take a Canva screencast recording, but you're going to create a video lesson over something you studied this 9 weeks. Now, a big part of this class is you completing things in whatever order that you want. Your teacher may want you to do it a little bit differently starting out and show that you can do certain things first. But ultimately, what it's going to come down to is when we get to days of the week where we can work on stuff, do I want to work on quests? Do I want to work on monster hunts? Or do I want to work on training sessions? You can work on it at the speed or pace that you want to, as long as you are doing one of those. Sparring sessions are a little bit different. To go to sparring sessions, we're actually going to go back to the Academy page itself. Most weeks, you'll have some kind of tournament in class where your teacher is going to challenge you to a battle on something like Blooket or Gimkit against your peers. You will play 1 or 2 games, and those games will probably be for small prizes or just for honor in class. Each of the little characters that you come across in the Academy is going to have sparring sessions tied to them. This character in the Bard Quarter has obviously ones that would be tied into arts and humanities. There's 2 swords here at the very bottom of the page. If I click this sword on the left, it's going to take me to practice for his topic. Now I'm going to log in real quick because of course it's going to make me do that while I'm recording a video. And it's going to take me to, whenever I log in again, this screenshot that's going to have the various Blooket modes that are currently available. Now I'm going to click Tower Defense 2. And it is going to bring me into Tower Defense with those questions. It's going to ask me questions from his topic. I can go through and practice those at my own speed, and I'll increasingly get better at whatever that topic is. Whenever I feel like I know that topic really well, there is an optional challenge for each of the 40 plus characters that are posted throughout the Academy at this time. If you click this darker sword down here, it's going to list what that challenge is. Now at this time, these are just kind of like extra practice, sort of like bragging rights type thing. But if you can complete these challenges, you probably know whatever this topic is really, really well. So if we end up having elements of music come up in class as our tournament, you are probably going to be very competitive in it. This is one of those things that's just sort of like an extra study element. Do you have to do those? No. But if your teacher says, I'd like you to practice some Blookets today before we begin our tournament, this would be what you're going to do and what you're going to go to do that. If you are somebody who wants to be competitive in academic team, math counts, beta, any of the various other competitions that we're going to have access to over the course of this school year, these would be really good to practice when you have some free time in class, if your teacher's okay with it. At home, get family together and challenge them. That's how you're going to get better. I was really, really intentional about most of the topics that I picked for these because I wanted them to be things that would really prepare you for the written tests that come up in academic team, quick recall, and stuff like that. If you get good at these beginning lists that are set up, you're going to be very competitive. So again, sparring sessions, you're going to find them by clicking the characters, going to these little swords down at the bottom. Now, if you finish everything in your packet, you finish all of the training sessions, monster hunts, and quests for a quarter, sparring sessions are a good thing to do afterwards. Another good thing to do to show growth and to learn in something that you probably wouldn't normally get to learn much about in middle school is to go to this section called Guild Island. One thing that I wanted to have available for students this year was some access to some learning on topics that I feel are extremely important just to know in general, or things that tied into things that students are already interested in. So I can click the horse ride here, but that's not what I really need to click. I need to click one of these. I'll go first to the Technology Guild. If I click this little board inside this section, it's going to come up with 2 badges, one that says Internet Explorer and one that says Guardian. These are the 2 badges that are available for this guild at the beginning. Think of these like sort of extra achievements that I can do to show that I've learned something at an advanced level. This one is specifically going to be going over some advanced topics related to networks and security online. For each of these, if you click it, it's going to bring up a different video. And then at the end of it, it's going to have a mission, which is to create a Google site. Think of these as sort of longer term projects that you might work on, again, when you finished everything up, or whenever you have some downtime in another class or at home. And you want to just complete these because you just want to do it because learning about this is interesting to you. Or you acknowledge that knowing about things like this, networking and the internet, might make you have skills that are necessary to help you out in things like the AP class for computer science that you might take in high school. If you go through, you'll find different guilds. At the beginning here, there are 6 available: the Technology Guild, the Library Guild. For it, you'll mostly see challenges related to basically reading books that you might need to read for Accelerated Reader anyway. Instead of just picking books at random, pick some books from this list, and it might allow you to compete in various competitions and things that we're going to have throughout the year. This one is the Language Learning Guild. At the beginning, the resources are all tied to Duolingo, but we'll probably use some other ones as the year goes on. This is the Game Design Guild. If I click here, there's only one at the beginning, but I'll add to that as we go. We've got some neat resources we're planning to use that'll tie into that pretty well, including things we'll actually use within our platform here itself. If I go here, I will find the ArtSpark Guild. If I click it, you'll find various pages that I give you that are tied in with this one that is posted here. And the Design Guild ties in with some learning curriculum that Canva actually has. You'll actually earn a Canva certification by completing these 7 lessons and turning in a mood board that it helps you design at the end. We'll probably do several other things that involve Canva certifications that are going to give you the skills where you're basically at the level of professionals if you do some of those. Now again, these are optional. Most of them only have 1 to 2 available at the beginning because I didn't want to overwhelm you. If you complete those, great. I'm going to encourage you to do that in various ways this year, but that is extra, so don't stress about it. Everything that you're going to need to complete is going to be here at this section. We're going to work at various days on various different things. It'll be up to your teacher to determine what day you work on things like training sessions, monster hunts, and quests, what day is going to be a tournament, and occasionally in the class we'll do some extra things that we need to do for 5th period, like career planning stuff that the rest of the 5th periods throughout the school are doing. I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into the navigation and stuff like that. We'll talk more about it later, but that should get you started.